Some people say, well,
Kid Gilchrist does.
Yeah, Kid Gilchrist and with Barnes. Some people say like Danny Graham. I mean, I guess I just hear so many comparisons. I don't really like them. What did you see with Barnes from last year to this year? I mean, what did you see? I mean, I don't know if you don't like him as a prospect anymore, but, I mean, is there some disappointment with this past season?
I think there is a little bit of a disappointment considering last year how great of a year he had. I still think he was very efficient this year in college basketball. He's a great combination of scoring tools, a mature frame, and has really good defensive abilities that give a team a great foundation to build upon. I think one of the things, a concern that I have for Harrison Barnes, I think he's 6'8", 220, 225. I actually think he played a little bit heavier than what he should have played this year, but he never used that weight to his advantage. And he only averaged around 4.7 free throw attempts per game. Yeah. I mean, this is a guy that should be going to the free throw line, averaging 10 to 11 free throw attempts per game. So when your game is conducive upon your jump shooting abilities, I think that's where Harrison Barnes at times really struggled because that's what he settled for.
Well, I think you're exactly right, Jay, and part of that problem about getting to the rim is his inability to handle the ball well enough to get all the way there. Now take a look now. We've broken down Harrison Barnes' game, and trust me, he's got a lot of strengths. He is a really high-quality kid. The main strength of his game is catch and shoot open shots. In the past, he had a tendency to shoot contested shots last year as a freshman, but in rhythm, excellent shooter. Now, the big thing in terms of attacking the basket, not as strong as he needs to. He'll settle too often. Take a look now. Contested shot, there it is. That happened time and time again. And now watch his footwork here. This was interesting. He pivots off the right foot on his drives, which means he doesn't have the same explosion. Take a look, Jay. He's got a right foot pivot foot, which doesn't give him the kind of strength and power to the rim that a righty would normally have. This has got to, it's correctable. He's a workaholic, high character guy, and still a productive player. So we're talking about a guy that still has a chance to get better and better.
It's the expectations game. Look, some people in high school thought this was the next Kobe Bryant. And then when you watched him, he doesn't look anything like Kobe Bryant, right?
And he tries to be like Kobe at times.
He tries, but he's not. And it's the expectation game. If he had come in with less expectations, I think we'd have been very happy with who Harrison Barnes was. Here's a really interesting anecdote about Harrison Barnes. He's been training in Miami, went to a bookstore, came back with Don Quixote in Spanish as the book that he picked out that he wanted to read, wanted to brush up on his Spanish. I don't think we could say that about any other prospect in this draft or any other draft that you put him in a bookstore, they come out with Don Quixote in Spanish.
What about
he's an intelligent young man.
Wow. Sadorensky, perhaps, though. I mean, he did play in Spain. I'm trying to come up with one.
Hey, Harrison Barnes is not playing in Spain. Don't worry about that.
That's a very good point.
I think if he actually lost some weight, that would help with his explosion on that first step. A lot of times he would have a great jab step and try to break it down to isolated situation, but he didn't have the burst to blow by people.
My comp for him, Sean Elliott.
Sean Elliott. Now, you know what, though? It's funny. Sometimes people look at it and go, oh, that's it? Hey, if you're Sean Elliott,
that's exactly right.
I remember when people were talking about Barnes as Granger, and people were going, oh, that's not good enough. That's terrific. All right, coming up next, a guy who was a big-time recruit out of high school, disappointing freshman year. We'll take a look at Quincy Miller out of Baylor. It's Chicago. It's the Combine.
At iHoops.com.
ESPN's your home for the NBA Draft on Thursday, June 28th. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern. Find out who the New Orleans Hornets are going to take with the #1 overall pick. The story will really start, though, with the uncertainty